Is it Rao in Wyoming? Wants to talk about a law that could censor the
this
Bible.
Is RAO, Matt. It's been way too long, but I don't think we're going to be disagreeing much this call.
Well, I already disagree with the premise because your thing here says, how could we write a law that effectively censors the Bible to children? And my view is that not only could we not do that, but we absolutely should not do that. But I'm going to let you talk to Andrew about it.
Well, I'm a 90s brat, and I was there for like when we started putting parental advisories on CDs and when the ESRB became a thing. We've already got like an expansion in the MPAA where not only do we have a ratings thing, but we actually have the content of the movie in the rating. It's rated PG-13 for like suggestive content, adult language, and violence or something like that. But it wouldn't necessarily prohibit the Bible being read to children. It would just be, it would be more along the lines of all literature. And I would try to phrase it in a way that avoided the Bible completely. Because
wait, I don't understand. So you're talking about proposing a law? I'm sorry, you lost me a little bit along the way. You're talking about proposing a law that puts warning labels on books. Is that your basic premise?
Well, yeah, we've got warning labels for music, video games, television, movies, but the oldest form of media out there, literature, doesn't have any kind of guidelines as to like who is allowed to buy it from the store.
You do realize that those ratings are voluntary?
Yeah, the MPAA is like a trade association. Like that's a voluntary, the Motion Picture Association of America, right? That's not the government coming in and saying you have to have this rating on your movie or else. Though it does trace back to a crazy Catholic organization that had like I gotta remember. I'll try to remember the name. It's something like the Crusade and Institute for Vice and Evil. Like it's the most. Anyway, that was a side point.
It was the citizens thing against Vice, and yeah, I'll look it up because I remember this.
It's a great name, but you're Rao. You got. I'll tell you, you got a long way to go. As a person who has had a preacher take a blowtorch to his book, you got a long way to go to convince me that putting warning labels on literature is a good idea. And especially if you look at what is happening right now at school boards and legislatures around the country, that is going to be weaponized against liberal thought. And I mean, we don't have to look at what's happening right now. Just look at
I can put out an album right now. I can release an album right now. And I don't have to put any sort of rating on it. I can release a film right now, and I don't have to put any sort of rating on it. Whether or not a theater will play it is another story. But this isn't a matter of law, like we have to rate things for kids. Plus,
so the
I want the Bible.
Is a completely voluntary thing as well?
Yes.
Okay, it was the National Legion of Decency. I mean... Sorry.
Like this is new to me because I thought these were like censorship laws where like you had to have. Yeah,
a lot of people do because this stuff ended up in front of Congress because Congress was trying to do it. But the solution was essentially to make it a voluntary thing. And of course, there are people who fight for worse ratings. Like if I've got a movie that's if I can get it rated NC-17, I know that's going to sell to an audience, whether the movie's shit or not. It's actually become a marketing tool as well. But at the end of the day, I don't, if you want to put age guidelines on books, sure. And I'd put 17 plus on the Bible. But that's a guideline. You don't get to make a law that says we can't read a book to kids. Hell, I can read all right, there are limits, I suppose, but there's a reason I don't have
Samuel
kids.
L. Jackson.
My mom read it to me when I was 2, so I know that you can read literature to kids.
Well, I mean, Rao, let me propose this to you instead. I mean, so the Freedom from Religion Foundation,
it's RAO. Sorry, I got corrected earlier.
Oh, sorry. RAO. The Freedom from Religion Foundation, we sell Bible warning stickers. It says, warning, literal belief in this book may endanger your health and life. And it's got a skull and crossbones. It's black and yellow. FFRF members get those for free occasionally throughout the year. But we do sell them on our website. And it's super fun to grab one of those. And every time you go into a hotel, stick them in the Gideon Bible or right there on the cover. It's a great way to be subversive.
I'm not going to mention the name, but I work for a hotel. So, I mean, I might have to pick some of those up.
I think you should. There you go. So that's the solution. We'll see if maybe David can get him on the bottom there. I just chatted him the link. It's a long link though. Anyway, you can find him on the FFRF website. Yeah, just Bible warning labels FFRF will get you there too. Try that.
Well, I mean, thanks for the enlightenment, because I'm glad I came into this completely ignorant, and I'm glad this is a mistake that I'm not the only one that made. That I'm not the only one who's made this mistake, so that a whole lot of people can get smarter through me being dumb.
Well, you're not dumb.
We all got to learn.
There's a lot of confusions, and there are legal restrictions as well. For example, once you accept one of those ratings, I'm pretty sure that a theater could get into legal trouble for allowing 8-year-olds into an NC-17 movie. But that's a different thing from whether or not the actual age restriction label on it, the Motion Picture Association guideline on there is actually required. In the same way that I can sell books, but if I tried to sell pornography to people who are underage, I could get in trouble for that. But it's not because we put a label on it. It is then judged by the content. And what counts as pornography is, well, that's another can of worms, thanks to the Supreme Court saying we know it when we see it. So I find that definition is, I get it. And I think that there are areas where a definition like that could be more useful. Like when we're having arguments about what's the definition of woman, as I had that same argument about 23 times in the last 30 hours or so. We know it when we see it type thing. That works fine as long as we're all kind of on the same page, but we're clearly not on the same page. And there are plenty of nudes that are
based on the Supreme Court we've got now, these people wouldn't know pornography if it wore a leather mask and hit them with a whip.
Well, that's not necessarily pornography. I could put on a leather mask and hit you with a whip, and it's not porn. But nice try. Anyway, RAO, we're going to move on.
I got a different show for that.
There are different shows for that.
All right, talk to you all later.
And I don't have to put a rating on those either, but thanks.